The president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Gabriel Idahosa, says Nigeria needs a sustainable state energy market which must be based on a robust and adaptable policy framework that encourages investment and competition. The head of the chamber was speaking earlier today at the Power Sector Group seminar of the organization, where other energy industry executives also contributed to the focus on regional sustainable energy investment. Let's take a listen.
It's extremely important that we in LCCI get our message very clear to Lagos State. We are on board with you. What we plan to do when the electricity power is done is to get all the 26 sectorial groups in the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and say within Lagos Chamber of Commerce, let us have a network of players in the industry. What can everyone do to ensure that we fast track this process of moving Lagos to universal power access? If that does not happen, again, as we have told a lot of policy makers and international policy makers, ALCFT, everybody, that when we make these laws, whether it's the electricity power law that we are trying to make now, it is a government document. It's signed by the governor, but it's the gentlemen and ladies in this room who run businesses in the entire power value chain that will translate that document into universal power access in Lagos. And one of the things we are planning to do in LCCI is that once that document comes out, we are going to have that event, maybe more quiet or more public, but we really think that we have, in this time in our history, a unique opportunity to get the power equation right and have just the way we more or less have done with telecom. Now, for about 5 years, the International Telecom Union celebrated Nigeria as the fastest growing telecom industry in the world. And today we probably can brag about it. We should be able to brag about universal high quality power to everybody in Nigeria. We have the capacity to do it in terms of the manpower. And in this city of Lagos, we have said to a lot of people, investors, that even if you want to invest in power in Lagos, there's a very strong financial industry in Lagos that can partner with you. So it's not really a matter of insufficient financing at a basic level, at a base level, but the necessary regulatory infrastructure, which is being completed now, once we have Lagos to join the other states that have signed the law. And then as our chairman, Martin Aroge said, it is then translating that policy into action. And we are the one, we in the business community are the one that will do that translation. We are the one who take the policy, run with it, and begin to connect all the dots. Whether it is financing, whether it is training, whether it's just letting people understand how you can actually play your parts. In our conversations, we said even local governments, probably don't realize how much they can do in just making space for people to put solar panels and provide energy for we are now going to electricity vehicles. You need to have a lot of charging points. Local government can say, okay, all our local government headquarters will provide space for charging points for electric cars, and we are going to work with solar companies, come and use some space. So there's a lot of work a lot of individuals can do to get it happen.
I think it's around ensuring that the commercials work. There's a lot of focus on regulation. Most states are trying to take the regulatory control from NEC and domesticate it within their states. But I think a second question, and a very important question, is how do we make it commercially viable? The fact that you have a state law doesn't transform or doesn't essentially indicate that you would be able to attract investment. The commercials need to make sense. So I think the focus for states is saying how do we make it commercially viable, such that we can then have a viable state electricity market that can attract a level of investment that will then lead to increase and improve power supply within our respective states.
The advice to all the states actually is whatever it is we're doing, let's have that word sustainability at the back of our mind. Whatever solution we're leveraging on, we must ensure sustainability all the way. There are quite a number of technologies and number of different energy sources that are coming up. Some are adoptions from the West. Some are things that had come up because of the energy gap currently, in the nation. So you have, of course, the on-grid, the off-grid, the renewables. You have energy sources like gas, which the current administration is really trying to promote. You have the hydro, and so many other sources, the solar, the wind, the hydrogen, and so on. And each of the states have their different, resources that they can actually leverage on. So the first advice is leverage on your resource. What you have, maximize it. So for instance, Lagos has about a 650 billion cubic feet of gas.